evening, everyone. I'm calling to order the June 2026 town meeting for the town of Cheverly, Maryland. I am the mayor, Micah Watson. Our town clerk, Giselle Richards, is here. Our town administrator, Delane Galloway. Our deputy public works director, Luis Cardenas, is also here. I am not on the meeting yet, but I will join electronically. In the meantime, I will call the roll for the elected council members. Is the council member from Ward 1 present?
Present.
Ward 2?
Present.
Ward 3?
Present.
Ward 4?
Present.
Ward 5? And Ward 6? Okay. So we will, recognizing there are 5 of the 7 elected officials present, there's a quorum sufficient to conduct business. The meeting will proceed, and the first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Sure. I'm going to recognize Vice Mayor Briner for a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to excuse Councilmember Fry from this meeting. It is her daughter's graduation tonight.
Is there a second for the motion?
Second.
Is there any discussion of the motion? Am I recognizing? Okay. Councilmember LeGloaheck.
I would like to say that as a council member, I feel that it is my most important job is, one of my most important jobs is to adopt a budget for this town. And while I understand that life intervenes and that there is circumstances by which you cannot be here, that in this day and age of connectivity, there is no reason that we could not have made it available. I think the mayor had made it available to Councilmember Fry that she could have, we could have made it possible for her to have dialed in or connected to this meeting, to have her been able to vote on this budget. So just for that reason, I'm going to vote against excusing her for this meeting.
Sorry, is there, Vice Mayor Briner, go ahead.
Sure, I just think her daughter's middle school graduation only happens once, and I think we are all humans and people and parents, and I cannot imagine a situation where sitting in an auditorium for my daughter's middle school graduation, I would feel comfortable trying to Zoom into a meeting in that way.
Is anyone else? Councilmember Wade?
Yeah, I actually work at middle schools. I was at 3 middle school graduations today. I'm a parent, very much, very present. But if the mayor did provide an opportunity just to step outside at her convenience for her to vote on it, because it is the most important thing, especially with the budget that we have had this year, that everyone would be on the record. But I do respect the fact that her being there, but if there was an opportunity for her to step out at a certain time to just say, cast a vote on it, just so we have everything on the record, I definitely think that is the most important thing, is the budget for this upcoming year, because it's going to affect a lot of stuff going forward. But I yield back.
All right, is there any other discussion of the motion? Okay, I will just say I can, for my part, go ahead and text her and see if she can join for, it sounds like the 1 or 2 most crucial of the votes, being the budget and perhaps annexation. Again, I have no idea what her schedule is, but I can do that. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the, sorry, did you have your hand up? Go ahead.
As a mother, and someone who has worked really hard to balance being a mother with public service and a full-time job, I cannot imagine what it would feel like to be at my daughter's graduation and receive a text saying, hey, but you need to hop on this Zoom. And I feel like, I don't know, I am just surprised by my colleagues' comments on this matter. I thought we all understood that we are parents and people first. I don't think her being here is going to endanger anything that happens tonight or in the town, but if you'd like to text her, you can.
Follow up.
Okay, Councilmember Wade?
The last thing I'll say, I'm a father of three, 27, 9, and soon to be 6-year-old. My wife is on actually travel for work. Talked to folks outside. I was in the car doing work to prepare for this as we got here. We signed up for this. No one told us that we had to do this. This is voluntary work, but the people who are affected is the people from her ward that she represents. Again, this is the most important budget, important thing that we should do as council members is vote on the budget. We see what's happened with budgets throughout the area and see what's the effects of that as a whole. So this affects us as a whole. No disrespect to her being a mother, but as a father, very active father, we have to manage that, and we know the expectations that we have as being a representative of our particular wards and our constituents, our fellow neighbors. So I think it's very, that level of importance for that to happen. But again, I do respect the fact of her being there for her daughter. I yield back.
Okay, any other comments? Hearing none. And I'll say a word about Councilmember Garces. Don't let me forget, he just texted me. All right, hearing no other comments, I'll call for a vote on the motion to excuse Councilmember Fry. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
I abstain.
Okay, so it's 2-1-1, the motion fails. I will say, Councilmember Garces let me know that his partner has had a medical situation that he is helping his partner tend to, and he will holler if he gets on the Zoom, or when he gets on the Zoom, if he is able, but they're at urgent care, so forth. So, all right. Let us move forward to item 3 on the agenda. Council, I'm only aware of one change that needs to be added, which I think we would call 7B, and that is the Historical Society proclamation brought to us by longtime Ward 2 resident, Mrs. Pruden. Is there a better name for this that I should write down for the agenda? Okay, Historical Society, Prince George's County Historical Society proclamation. That would be 7B, right before the Juneteenth and Pride Month proclamations. Any objection to that?
8 or 7?
7B. Do you want to make it 8B?
You have proclamations under 8.
Okay, we'll add it under 8 then. How about that? 8B? Any objection to that? So we'll do Juneteenth, Pride Month, and then we'll turn to Mrs. Pruden. Hearing no objection, is there a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
Move to approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
Okay, it's been motioned by Councilmember LeGloahec and seconded by Councilmember Tanzi. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 4-0. We will now move on to the consent agenda. Council, this includes 3 sets of minutes. The minutes in your packet for May 21st and May 28th, and the revised minutes for May 14th that are not in the packet. They're stapled separately. Everyone tracking?
Yep.
Any questions from council, or is there a motion to approve the consent agenda for those 3 items? Again, the May 14 minutes in your packet are non-operative.
Mayor, Councilmember Garces is on.
Oh, thank you, Councilmember Garces. Welcome. We now have 6 of our 7 elected officials. Mr. LeGloahec, are you making a motion?
I have a question, is that I know that there were a sort of a flurry.
Yes.
There were
All right, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. Okay,
Point of clarification.
okay. So, about his comment,
Yeah, I'm confused. What did he say?
I think he's reacting to the earlier failed motion.
Okay.
But I don't know more than that. You'd have to ask him.
Okay.
I don't know. So, Councilmember LeGlowick, what is your question about the minutes?
That I know that there were a number of changes and amendments to the minutes, and I just wanted to say, are the minutes that are in our packet, does that reflect all of the latest changes?
No.
The separate minutes that were distributed?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, for getting all those corrections done. So it's the 21 in the packet, the 28 in the packet, and the 14 that's loose. Do you have the loose? Do you want to take a look at mine? It should say corrected in the watermark. We can come back to it if we want. All right. Do you want a minute? Does anybody want a minute? All right, so then is there a motion to approve the consent agenda containing the 3 sets of updated minutes?
So moved.
That might be my fault. Okay, Councilmember Wade has made a motion to approve the consent agenda. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Councilmember LeGlowick. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Are you voting, Councilmember? I voted. Okay. Councilmember Garces is no longer with us, so I think the motion passes 4-0. Okay. So now we are on to resident input. This is an opportunity for any member of the public to address the council for up to 3 minutes on any topic not underlined on the agenda. So not the proclamations, not the budget ordinance, not annexation, not the Wayne Place lots, and not the naming of 5701. Any other topic. And I will try to keep an eye online, but I appreciate folks' help in monitoring the online attendees. Again, if you're attending online, please raise your hand using the Zoom raise hand function. Ma'am, you have 3 minutes. Your name and ward, please.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I want to thank the councilmen from Ward 2 and 4 for not excusing, I'm sorry? 1?
1 and 2.
1 and 2, my apologies. For your objection regarding the absence of council member from Ward 6. I'm very concerned about that, given that at the budget hearing, she had the largest number of residents turn out to speak in reference to this matter. Not only is she not available to vote on that, but I see that there is the annexation issue on the agenda as well. My question is, how many excused absences are granted and based on what? She had not mentioned that at all during the hearing. And as a teacher, I know that graduations are on the calendar at the beginning of the school year. So I'm just concerned that it's convenient she's not available, and these are 2 major items. So, Mr. Mayor, would you address that, please? Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. There's, just practically speaking, so thank you for your comments. Practically speaking, there's no limit to the number of meetings that a council member or an elected official can be excused from. There is a provision in the charter and possibly an ordinance regarding unexcused absences that can lead to problems for an elected official, but not excused absences. I'm going to turn now to Mr. Price, and then we'll go to Ms. Sallow. Mr. Price, are you able to unmute? You have your hand up?
Old Ward 4 and Old Ward 4 youth.
I think you got me because we.
Go ahead, sir.
Removal of those funds using the, I hope that they do this. Thank you.
Well,
You broke
broke
up some. I think, sir, you were expressing
concern
concern about the removal from the budget of funds for the old Fourth Ward. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Okay, thank you for that comment. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Price.
Thank you.
Councilman Wade, I'm required to recognize your point of order.
Yeah, so I guess there was a little confusion regarding Councilmember Garces. I guess he was lumped in regarding the excusing of Councilmember Fry. So I would like to retract that since it was emergency to put a motion on the floor to excuse Councilmember Garces. Now, I don't agree on the record of coming on and stating in that particular manner your frustration, but based on the fact that he had a last-minute emergency, I want a motion for him to be excused from the meeting based on it was the last minute. So can I do the motion for that?
Can we do it after resident input?
No problem.
Okay, but don't let me forget.
I just told you.
Yes, I know, but thank you, Ms. Sallow, your name, your ward, and you have 3 minutes.
Sure. Sheila Solo, Ward 2. What would you think if I told you that you could leave the lawnmower in the shed while managing stormwater runoff and make a difference for birds, beneficial insects, and other wildlife? The University of Maryland Extension Service provides some great tips on reducing the amount of lawn in your yard. Here are just a few. You can replace turf grass with ground covers and native grasses. You can start with small garden beds or islands of native shrubs, ornamental grasses, flowers, and/or edible plants. Add native plants that provide nectar and pollen, berries, seeds, and bird nesting sites. You can plant a tree to provide shade and reduce home energy costs, provide privacy, and add value to your property. Trees reduce air pollution, store carbon, and help control stormwater erosion. I am assured that Cheverly's tree planting program is still in effect. Yes, Cheverly's Public Works Department will plant a tree in your yard. You just provide the TLC. The tree agreement form with a list of native trees is on the town website. Got moss? Instead of trying to fight the moss, why not embrace it? Moss has aesthetic and ecological value and makes a suitable ground cover that prevents soil erosion. You can simply let the moss spread naturally. For areas of at least 250 square feet, you can take advantage of the Conservation Landscaping Rain Check rebate. See the Chesapeake Bay Trust website. Is it legal? A 2021 state law forbids communities from prohibiting pollinator gardens, rain gardens, and xeriscaping. If your landscape is intended to conserve water, lower maintenance costs, provide pollution prevention, and create habitat for wildlife, you are good to go. What will the neighbors think? Whether your yard is lawn, an ornamental garden, or a naturalistic space, you can prevent your plants from encroaching on your neighbors or public space. Signaling your intentions with the yard sign is a good way to keep the peace. Thank you.
Thank you for those comments. Is there any other public input on any items not underlined on the agenda? And I don't see anyone online. If you would like to speak, please put your hand up or shout it out. Ma'am, your name, your ward, and you have 3 minutes.
Joyce Jones, Ward 2. I just wanted to thank the mayor and council. I know it's been, and everybody else on staff. Obviously, there's a lot of tension between the annexation vote, the budget. Apparently, there's now a war between mothers and fathers. It's a joke. Just thank everybody for being here. I know things get tense. I want to thank specifically my council person for always being very responsive, great newsletters, great information, his Triangle Talks. And I do have to give a shout out to the excellence of our government this evening. I left a dental appointment this afternoon and was sitting there with my face frozen, and I was dictating the last-minute email to John and Micah and asking for corrections to the May 14th minutes, because I wanted them to accurately reflect my concerns about the May 14th budget hearing, which I talked about the compost program of $45,000, which was accounted for 6% of the population, but almost 19% of the entire sanitation budget. So thank you again for removing that item, even though it was shown to be free. That was only when it was a pilot project. We've already spent $15,000 this year. We would have spent another $45,000, and that $45,000 would be a half cent of our proposed 5-cent increase. So thank you again for removing that, and just reiterating, the Green Infrastructure Committee spends many hours going visiting sustainable Maryland towns, and we've been to many of them that have compost programs. Anybody at any time, Public Works, Town Administrator, council people who really love the compost stuff, feel free to ask questions. We'd love to spend many more hours bringing you great ideas on how you could get low-cost or other projects in town. So thank you for the corrections, our government at work.
Thank you for those comments, and again, thank you to Town Clerk Giselle Richards for speeding to the rescue there several times. Is there any other public input on any item not on the agenda? Okay, hearing none, then we will recognize Councilmember Wade for a motion.
I would like to make a motion to excuse Councilmember Garces based on a unexpected incident with his spouse or girlfriend. I guess they're in the hospital, so I would like to excuse Councilmember Garces from today's meeting.
There's a motion to excuse Councilmember Garces from the remainder of today's meeting. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Councilmember LeGloahec has seconded the motion. Is there any discussion of the motion to excuse Councilmember Garces? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passes 4-0. We are on to committee reports, and we will start with the Recreation Council.
All right, Rec Council, this past Saturday, we had our annual pickleball tournament as well as our scholarship. It was well attended. Definitely congratulations to Ms. V, who is the main coordinator of that, as well as her team and the entire Rec Council. Thank you to Mr. Galloway and staff for supporting that and making sure everything was done in a professional and timely manner. We were blessed to have 5 recipients to receive $1,000 scholarships from the Rec Council and the additional $1,000 from Delegate Julian Ivey. So thank him as well for that. And just a special shout out to Sophia Richards, our Ward 1 resident, as well as our Ward 1 Youth Council member. She's attending Loyola College in New Orleans. And we had 2 other members that are attending or at University of Maryland College Park. One is at UMBC and one is at Frostburg State University. Over the last couple of years, as me being the liaison, we have seen the level of this being grown and the impact that it has throughout our community. So definitely congratulations to all involved and to the recipients. I yield back.
All right, thank you for that. That takes us to the Cheverly Day Committee. Mr. D'Angelo, would you like to approach the podium? Councilmember LeGloahec, anything or you want to follow him, or?
Well, Mr. D'Angelo is here at the request of the mayor because there was some question about some budgetary amounts from last year as well as this year. So I will leave it to Mr. D'Angelo to talk about some outstanding budget items from last year and any requests that the Cheverly Day Committee might make for this year.
All right, welcome.
Hi, good evening. Good evening.
90-day countdown, go ahead.
I believe there was a request, so I'll start off with, I believe there was a request for the budgetary status. Based on the status last year, the conversation we had last year, we knew we were going into a tight budget, and we opted to keep our impact as low as possible. As my understanding, we don't have budget visibility, but we plan to make no request to the town in addition to the expenses they spend on that line item. So we're not anticipating making a further draw on that.
Excellent. Are we all squared away on Cheverly Day 2025, which would have been paid for with the current fiscal year?
I don't know
mean,
that I have.
Everyone's been reimbursed. We're all
Yes.
copacetic. Do we have any money left over, do we know, in that line item? I don't think so. I think it was pretty close to the bone. Is that your recollection?
That's my recollection.
Okay. And then this coming year, for the 95th celebration, which you'll
September
brief-
26th.
September 20, you'll give us the full briefing on that in just a moment. But I think what I hear you saying is that the budget, the amount that we are allocating in the FY27 budget should cover the fireworks and not much more. Is that everyone's understanding? Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Any questions from council about any part of that, or John, anything to add?
I'm just looking at Town Administrator Galloway just to make sure that, so the majority of that budget line is fireworks and possibly golf carts, is that correct?
Correct. Possibly golf carts.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, Vice Mayor, sorry, go ahead.
We went to Franklin's on Tuesday to get ice cream to help raise money for Cheverly Day, which I think is a great fundraiser. We saw lots of Cheverly folks there.
Yep.
I was curious what other fundraising efforts are going on around Cheverly Day for this year.
Yeah. So we've reached out to a number of the businesses in the area. Cheverly Home Improvement has stepped forward with a very generous contribution. A couple of others have also stepped forward. We don't have all the details yet. There've been a lot of verbal commitments, but we wait until the final. We reach out to the businesses in the area, the residents who have businesses, and we ask people to go check out the website, contact us in person. That's
Excellent.
That's pretty much the businesses in the region to help offset the costs, right?
Yeah, thank you for that. I just checked the budget on page 45, and the allocation, hopefully that we will adopt tonight, is for $20,000 for Cheverly Day, which is probably just about the fireworks and not much more, I think. Yeah. Okay. You want to give us a quick rundown of 926?
Yeah, so this year's the 95th anniversary of the founding incorporation of our great town. September 26th, we'll be celebrating it. That's Saturday. This is a parade year, right? So town organizations, neighbors, talk to your neighbors. Are you going to participate in the parade? You can put together a float. You can have a town org that wants to highlight the activities that your organization stands for, put together a float, or just walk in the parade. The whole town is invited. The classic, how many floats are you going to be in, is the question I'm going to ask you. So reach out to your neighbors, build a float, put it together, and then there will be a track behind so that you can go back and join the second float that you may be a part of. So, and then with that, come out and view your neighbors doing the quick shuffle, right? So 95th anniversary, September 26th, go to the website, cheverlyday.org. You can sign up to be in the parade. You can sign up to have a table, or you can sign up to make a contribution to offset the cost. So I will see you all there.
Council, any questions for the committee? Mr. Wade?
So regarding the float aspect, is that on the website? So for folks,
is.
everything's on the website?
Yes, you can sign up and we'll reach out and it's a conversation, right? It's not as easy as just sign up and you're in it.
Yep.
You sign up and present what kind of float you'd like to do, what you'd like to advertise, and we'll get you on the list and give you all the details.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the committee? All right, seeing none, thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate all your hard work.
Thank you.
Planning Board?
So the planning board did not meet yesterday because the leadership was not available, so we are meeting next Wednesday. We are discussing the recent or current accessory dwelling unit regulations, and some more about the Port Towns preliminary plans, and I'm providing them updates on the Cheverly Hill development, the pilot terms, et cetera, discussing CDBG grants so that it's on the planning board's sort of running agenda to see what options in the two parts of town that qualify for them could be explored, and hoping to give a Kim Lampier's bike grant update, but I will have to get that from the town administrator before I can give it to the planning board. Oh, and construction has started at the old church site in the old Ward 4. So none of that has been discussed, but it will be discussed next week.
Council, any questions for the planning board liaison? Seeing none, is there a report from the Board of Election Supervisors? Seeing none, is there a report from the Ethics Commission? No news is probably good news. Moving on to Hometown Heroes, one of which I believe we have in the room with us right now.
Yeah, so,
Go ahead.
Mayor and Council, the Hometown Heroes Committee has reviewed and verified several new banner applications for approval. The first one being Anthony Gustavo Rubio is honorably serving as an active duty member of the United States Army and was nominated by his mother, Louise Mario Salazar. And this is the picture, Mayor and Council, just so that you can see. Any questions as it relates to Mr. Rubio? All right, the second nominee that we have is Linwood Keys Jr., honorably served as a retired veteran of the U.S. Air Force and was nominated by Ms. Valinda Mays in the Cheverly Rec Council. I had the pleasure of presenting him with a Rec Council Hometown Heroes Award this past weekend for the contributions that he's made towards the pickleball community, more specifically here in Cheverly. This is Mr. Linwood Keys, just so that you can see. Any questions as it relates to Mr. Keys? The next person that we have is Joseph B. Jokum, honorably served as a veteran of the U.S. Navy and was nominated by his son, Paul Jokum.
Former Cheverly council member as well.
Former Cheverly council member. Okay. Next person is Michael Patrick Benton. He honorably served as a veteran of the U.S. Navy and was nominated by Paul Jokum as well. Okay. Any questions as it relates to? Okay. Paula E. Hawkins honorably served as a retired veteran of the U.S. Army and was nominated through family. This is Paula Hawkins, Mayor and Council, so that you see. And then Frederick William Murphy honorably served in the U.S. Army and was 21 years old when he made the ultimate sacrifice in our service to our country in Vietnam. He was nominated by his wife, Donna R. Murphy. And this is a picture of Mr. Murphy. And lastly, my friend and our very own Chief of Police, David C. Morris, is a veteran of the U.S. Navy and was nominated by the town of Cheverly in recognition of his service to our country and continued dedication to the community. The committee recommends approval of all 7 applicants. The banners honoring Raymond Clay Mosley, Michael Clausler, and Joseph Stephenson have been renewed for the upcoming year. Renewal notifications have been sent to the remaining applicants whose banners were originally hung in July of 2025. If banners are not renewed, the banner will be taken down and returned to the applicant. The Hometown Hero Committee is planning a recognition ceremony on Wednesday, July 9th, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. At this time, there are 18 honorees to be honored over the year-long span of the program. So can I get, yes.
Mr. Wade, go ahead.
Is that Wednesday or Thursday? I thought it was Thursday before the town meeting.
I'm sorry, it should be on that Thursday before the town meeting. You are correct.
Right.
So that date will be, it's Thursday, July 9th, 2026.
That is the town meeting.
That is the town meeting. Yes. At 6:30. So Mayor and Council, if I can ask you all to approve the nominees, that would be great.
Is there any public input before we make a motion on these 7 nominations? All right, seeing none. Council, is there a motion to approve the 7 nominations?
Make a motion to approve all 7 nominations, including our amazing chief. Congratulations on that, to be hung before 4th of July.
I'll second that.
Big motion was made by Councilmember Wade and seconded by Councilmember LeGloahec. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passes 4-0. Thank you for that, Mr. Galloway, for your coordination efforts. We are now on to the Cheverly Youth Council. Is there a report? I know they were meeting in Town Hall. Okay, we can come back to it if Mr. Galloway, you or Ms. White would like her to give a report. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So I'm going to, thank you. I will now okay, so we're on to item 7, which is the closed meeting summary. So I will read that, and then we will start our proclamations, I believe, with Mr. Wade. So the closed session summary for May 28th, 2026. On May 28, 2026, the Mayor and Council voted unanimously to convene a closed session pursuant to Maryland Code 3101 of the General Provisions Article Open Meetings Act. The closed session was convened at the conclusion of a special meeting at 6:36 p.m. by motion made by Councilmember Briner and seconded by Councilmember Tanzi. The vote was unanimous to hold a closed session. The meeting was closed for 3 specific reasons under the law. 305B1, to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of appointees, employees, or officials over whom this public body has jurisdiction, or any other personnel matter that affects one or more specific individuals. The second reason under the law was 305B7, to consult with counsel to obtain legal advice. And the third reason under the law was 305B8, consult with staff, consultants, or other individuals about pending or potential litigation. Those present in the closed session were the Mayor and Council, Town Administrator Delane Galloway, Town Attorneys Jason DeLoach Esquire and Todd Pounds Esquire for part of the meeting, Steve Brayman for part of the meeting, and consultant Robert Barnhart of Charles P. Johnson and Associates CPJ for part of the meeting. During the closed session, Mr. Galloway updated the council on the potential legal impact of a change in law on particular employees. Mr. Galloway provided an update on an employee's status going forward. Mr. Galloway provided an update on his deliverables as an employee to the mayor and council. The mayor brought a concern of his regarding a potential personnel issue to the council he found concerning. The matter was discussed amongst the council, and Attorney DeLoach provided advice on the issue. Mr. Pounds discussed an issue about an alleged agreement regarding a real estate matter and its legal implications with the mayor and council. Mr. Galloway provided background information on the issue. Robin Barnhart Mr. Galloway, Mr. Brayman, and Mr. Deloach discussed the status of an ongoing matter that may lead to potential litigation. There was a discussion on options moving forward. A motion to adjourn the closed meeting was made by Vice Mayor Briner and seconded by Councilmember Tanzi. The motion passed unanimously. The closed session ended at approximately 7:31 p.m. No actions were taken in the closed meeting. And that summary will be appended to the minutes of this meeting when they are published. Moving on to item 8, the proclamations, and we will start with the Juneteenth proclamation read by Councilmember Wade.
Proclamation, Juneteenth celebration.
No, we made it 8B.
Yeah. Sorry, we're going to do Juneteenth, Pride Month, and then Mrs. Pruden.
To facilitate the Juneteenth celebration observation of the African American pursuit of freedom throughout America. This will bring the Cheverly community together to celebrate our common bond of freedom. This has been an African American annual celebration tradition since June 19, 1886. The year's national theme is Juneteenth brings balance to America's celebration of freedom. The 4th of July freed the land. Juneteenth freed the people. Whereas our country is made up of people from all nationalities who are declared equal not only in freedom but also in justice, both of which are essential for a healthy human civilization. And whereas our nation has conceived on July 4th, 1776, with the Declaration of Independence, the classic statement being, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." And whereas Juneteenth commemorates June 19, 1865, the day when news of emancipation reached enslaved African Americans in Galveston, Texas, more than 2 years after the issuance of the Emancipation Proclamation. And whereas Texans began the celebration of Juneteenth in 1866. Generations of African Americans since then have contributed immeasurable to the cultural, civic, economic, educational, and spiritual life of our communities and our nation, despite centuries of slavery, segregation, discrimination, injustice, and whereas African American history has gone unrecognized, not discussed, and or covered up, the Civic African American Community Organization, also known as CACO, is honored to present to the residents of Cheverly and the surrounding communities relevant African American history and the importance of observation and recognition of Juneteenth. The historical legacy of Juneteenth illustrates the value of never giving up hope in uncertain times. Now, therefore, we, Cheverly Mayor and Council, do hereby proclaim June 20th, 2026 as Juneteenth Celebration Day in the town of Cheverly, and to be celebrated and commemorated with the raising of the Juneteenth flag at Cheverly Town Hall. Be it further proclaimed that we recommit ourselves to building communities grounded in justice, compassion, civic responsibility, and equal opportunity for all people. Let us continue to work in honoring the past while strengthening the future for generations to come. Presented this 20th day of June 26, 2026, in celebration of Juneteenth and the enduring pursuit of freedom. There you back.
Thank you. Is there any public input on the town's Juneteenth proclamation? Your name and your ward, please.
Joyce Jones, Ward 2. I just want to say, in this challenging political time, thank you so much to Councilmember Wade, to the mayor and council and the staff for not being afraid to speak up and speaking this truth and recognizing it and celebrating the diversity that we have in this town. I grew up in Baltimore City, and when my husband and I were looking for homes and we drove through Cheverly, one of the reasons why we bought a home here was the diversity that we saw. So thanks to everybody for not being afraid to say something in these political times, because it is definitely something to celebrate and to be aware of as rights are being stripped from all of us, left and right. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you for those comments. Vice Mayor Briner, I think we're turning to you for the Pride Month proclamation.
A proclamation recognizing June as Pride Month in Cheverly, Maryland, and to actively promote the principles of equality, diversity, and liberty. Whereas the town of Cheverly is dedicated to fostering a welcoming community, ensuring that our town is an exceptional place for all to live, learn, work, play, and raise a family. And whereas our community is committed to realizing a set of principles that affirm that every person is equal, has rights to their life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, and shall be accorded the full recognition and protection of law. And whereas our lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer LGBTQ+ neighbors are a diverse, engaged, and vital part of the Cheverly community, contributing to all walks of life and serving as active and visible leaders, thereby strengthening our community. And whereas our nation is founded on the principle of equal rights for all people, yet many Americans continue to be denied the fulfillment of that promise. And whereas we are witnessing ongoing civil rights movements that strive to bring marginalized groups into the mainstream of American society, with much work remaining to ensure justice and equity for all. And whereas nearly 55 years ago, the Stonewall Uprising became a pivotal moment for the gay rights movement, where members of the LGBTQ+ community rose up in protest against the injustice of a police raid at the Stonewall Inn in Greenwich Village, New York City. And whereas we must acknowledge and honor the legacies of two transgender women of color, Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera, who helped ignite the LGBTQ+ rights movement in the United States at the Stonewall Inn. And whereas we continue to witness that fatal violence disproportionately affects transgender women of color, particularly Black transgender women, and that according to the Human Rights Campaign, the intersections of racism, sexism, homophobia, biphobia, transphobia, and unchecked access to guns deprive these individuals of employment, housing, health care, and other necessities. And whereas the town of Cheverly recognizes that it is imperative that all people in our community, regardless of sexual orientation or gender identity, feel valued, safe, empowered, and supported by their peers, educators, and community leaders. And whereas Cheverly is strengthened by and thrives upon the rich diversity and intersectionality of ethnic, cultural, racial, gender, age, and sexual identities of its residents, all of which contribute to the vibrant character of our town. Now, therefore, the Mayor and Council of Cheverly hereby proclaim and recognize June as Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender, and Queer LGBTQ+ Pride Month in the town of Cheverly, and the first Saturday of June as a day to raise a pride flag at the Town Hall flagpole. As the Mayor and Council of Cheverly, we urge town residents to recognize the contributions made by members of the LGBTQ+ community, to encourage our LGBTQ+ youth to stand proud all year long, to actively promote the principles of equality and liberty, and to reject prejudice and bias in any form. And this was originally read on Saturday, June 6th by the mayor. Thank you also to Councilmember Fry for coming out to the pride flag raising. And I just want to say, having just one supportive adult in their lives dramatically increases the mental health outcomes for LGBTQ youth and dramatically decreases their risk of suicide. And I think mental health now is on a lot of our minds, and I just encourage everyone to support everyone in their lives, but the young people in particular, for who they are.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Is there any public input on the town's Pride Month proclamation?
Joyce Jones, Ward 2. Thank you, Councilmember Brenner, for that eloquent statement. Again, just want to reiterate what I said to Christopher Wade, Councilmember Ward 1, that I'm proud to be in a town that recognizes these issues, confronts them, states them publicly, puts them on our website. I know that our chief of police and his training and the way he runs the department is very aware of these issues because, as you say, they're often associated with violence and things like that. You know, it's one thing to say you... Pardon?
Keep going.
Oh, sorry. LGBTQ plus is not anything new. All throughout human history, there have been people that have different ways to identify themselves and express their sexuality and gender. They're sometimes called three-spirit people in other cultures. So this is nothing new. This is recognizing the diversity of human spirit, and thank you to Cheverly for going along with that and for celebrating it. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. Ms. Pruden, do you want to take the podium and discuss the recognition that Cheverly has received from Prince George's County?
I do want to do that. Hi, I'm Susan Pruden. I'm in Ward 2. And I'm here tonight because I'm also a commissioner on our county's Historic Preservation Commission. On May 21st, we had our annual Historic Preservation reception. And at that reception, Donna Schneider, who's the president of the Historical Society, presented us with a document here. And I want to read her comments because we had very few people from the town there. So the Cheverly Historic District was added to the National Register of Historic Places on July 5, 2024. The designation recognizes Cheverly's historic and architectural significance that encompasses the oldest dwellings and the first 11 platted sections of the town. It was a 5-year process to gain this recognition, and it is a testament of the Cheverly community's efforts to preserve and celebrate its history. The district's significance is as an intact early 20th century suburb of Washington, D.C. that developed as a result of careful and controlled planning efforts and grew in response to regional population growth. Cheverly addressed the area housing shortages of the period and had convenient commuter access for residents. It also has a significant concentration of buildings that are united by physical and historical development and visual continuity. Due to restrictive covenants, Cheverly began as an exclusive white suburban development, but in the mid-1950s, upper middle and professional class African-American homebuyers began to acquire property in Cheverly's 4th Ward. The 4th Ward became a center of civil rights activism that produced a number of local African-American politicians. To add to its significance for its role in the desegregation of suburban Prince George's County, the Cheverly Historic District has also been identified as containing the largest known collection of kit houses in Prince George's County. The Society would like to recognize the Cheverly Historic District for its National Register of Historic Places place designation with a St. George's Day Award. Here's our thing, and I'm going to read it. It says, the Prince George's County Historical Society to Cheverly Historic District in recognition of meritorious effort in the preservation of the heritage of our county, in recognition of its National Register of Historic Places designation given this 21st day of May 2026, in recognition of St. George's Day being the anniversary of the founding of Prince George's County, Maryland, 23 April 1696, signed by Donna Schneider, President. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We will display that in a place of honor, either in this building or in Town Hall. Council, any questions for Mrs. Pruden? Yes, Vice Mayor.
I just want to say thank you for serving on that body and representing Cheverly.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you for that. We are on to item 9, the final reading and adoption of the budget ordinance 2026-01. Where to begin? Well, I will read the ordinance, a fair reading of the ordinance, and then I'll give a quick overview, and then we shall see if there's any public input, and then we'll have a motion. So we are discussing the Town of Cheverly Ordinance 2026-1, the uncodified budget ordinance covering the fiscal year 2027. The fiscal year runs from July 1st, 2026 through June 30, 2027. Whereas Article 7, Section C23A2 of the Charter of the Town of Cheverly grants to the mayor and council the power to appropriate and expend funds for any purpose deemed to be public, and whereas each fiscal year of the town commences on July 1 and ends by the following June 30 pursuant to C-32 of the Charter of the town. And whereas the mayor and town council have, prior to each fiscal year, adopted a budget to govern the appropriation and expenditure of funds for the next fiscal year. And whereas, after numerous discussions and meetings, the mayor and town council have prepared a budget for fiscal year 2027 containing anticipated revenues and proposed appropriations and expenditures for said fiscal year. And whereas said budget, as described at numerous public meetings by the mayor and council, is attached hereto as Exhibit A. All of you should have had access to a very thick PDF with the tiled pictures on the front. Now therefore be it ordained by the mayor and council of Cheverly in regular session assembled that the budget for fiscal year 2027 containing anticipated revenues and proposed expenditures of the town, which budget is attached hereto as Exhibit A and is hereby incorporated by reference, be and hereby is adopted for the fiscal year 2027 to take effect July 1, 2026 until June 30, 2027. And be it further ordained that this budget shall govern the expenditure of funds by the town during FY27. And be it further ordained that the mayor and council may from time to time during the fiscal year amend this budget by motions made, discussed, and carried so long as any action regarding this budget is taken at public meeting, after notice, and a public discussion, and the amendments to the budget for the entire fiscal year do not increase the total expenditures by more than 10% of the total expenditures figure appearing on Exhibit A, which I'll get to in a minute. And be it further ordained that this ordinance shall take effect on July 1, 2026, however, provided that a fair summary of the ordinance is published at least once in a newspaper of general circulation in the town of Cheverly. Introduced by the mayor and town council at a regular meeting on May 21, 2026, at which copies were available to the public for inspection, etc. Let me now just briefly summarize, and then I'll turn to Mr. Galloway for any corrections or to council for any comments. But in summary, the tax rates are 60 cents and 103 cents for real property, I should say real property for the coming year. Anticipated revenues are $11,397,000. Anticipated expenditures are $11,537,000 for an anticipated deficit of $140,590. We are still wrestling with the FY26 deficit. It is going to be, we think, somewhere between $384,000 and $570,000 deficit for the current fiscal year that only has 3 weeks left in it. Mr. Galloway, anything to add? Council, any comments you would like to make before we turn to the public? Seeing none, is there any public input on the uncodified budget ordinance? Your name, your ward, and you have 3 minutes.
Okay. Sean Patrick, or you guys like to spend your money, or the taxpayers' money. Okie doke. Can you qualify or quantify exactly 300 to what 570 what thousand for 2026? I'll ask for exact figures, please. I don't know how to spend 3 minutes other than you guys like to spend money. That's all I can say. Cheerio.
Thank you for that. We had anticipated a deficit for FY26 of $384,000 and change. However, so that looks like it's probably going to be accurate based on itself. However, the wild card is the unanticipated shortfall in real property tax revenue from the apartments, which could be as high as $200,000. So that's why I provided that range of numbers. Is there any further public input on the uncodified budget ordinance for FY27? Seeing none, is there a motion from the council? Mr. Tanzi, would you like to make a motion?
Sure. I move to approve the budget as read.
Councilmember Tanzi has made a motion to adopt the budget ordinance. Is there a second?
I will second the budget ordinance.
Okay. It was made by Councilmember Tanzi and seconded by Councilmember LeGloahec. Is there any discussion amongst the council? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor of the motion to adopt the budget ordinance say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The budget ordinance is adopted by a vote of 4-0. On to item 10. Annexation Charter Amendment, CAR 126, final reading and adoption of the Charter Amendment. I will not be reading Exhibit A, but it is available to you. I'll start at the top. Charter Amendment Resolution Number 126, Council of the Town of Cheverly, Maryland, Charter Amendment Resolution 1-26, Hospital Hill. A charter amendment resolution of the Town Council of Cheverly enlarging the corporate boundaries of the Town of Cheverly by annexing into the corporate limits of the Town of Cheverly lands contiguous and adjoining to the town's existing corporate boundaries, property commonly known as Hospital Hill, consisting of approximately 44.1867 acres of land in total, generally known as Hospital Hill, aka the old Cheverly Hospital site. And attached is Exhibit A, which is a description of the area to be annexed by the Town of Cheverly, and which elaborates, and I mean elaborates, the geographic boundaries of, in 38 different sections, the geographic legal description of the annexation area. Also provided is the, as required by law, is the Town of Cheverly's Hospital Hill annexation plan, which you can find at the end of your packet. Council, do you have any comments now before we go to the public? Hearing none, is there any public input on the annexation charter amendment? Please approach the podium, your name and ward, and you have 3 minutes.
Okay. As everyone knows, I'm a staunch supporter of annexation, but I still have, I will deal with one major question that remains. Since the introduction of CAR 126 in December 2025, I have asked repeatedly why the acreage to be annexed includes parcels which have been within the town's boundaries since their annexation in 1958 and 1998. Now that we have the description of the area to be annexed, the long-awaited Exhibit A, we can see that there is a discrepancy between the two texts. The acreage total shown in the ordinance is 44.1867, while that shown in the meets and bounds is 39.98. The latter is closer to an accurate figure, excluding the previous annexations. Please provide assurance that the property description excludes the previous annexation lands. It is my understanding that the annexation ordinance and property description must match. It is the boundary description that is definitive. If they conflict, the discrepancy can invalidate the annexation. The correction should be made in the ordinance text before adoption. That's the easiest way to do it. So the action points. First, make sure my information is correct, that the boundary description takes precedence. 2, make sure that the boundary description excludes parcel 181 and the Capitol View lots. 3, change the ordinance text to match the property description. That is, all the places where it says 44 acres, et cetera, change it to 39.98. Very simple. Okay. Couple of other points. On page 31, that is within the property description, there's a reference to Spring Hill Edition. It is Spring Mill Edition. Also, in the annexation plan, we still do not indicate where this fire engine, basic life support, ambulance personnel, and medic personnel come from. Here it's still saying Cheverly Volunteer Fire Department. Imagine that. We don't have one. So it has to say at Bladensburg or wherever it's supposed to come from. That has to be corrected. So I don't know how we're going to deal with that. So we need, thank you, but we need to know that the previous annexation lands are excluded, so we need to change the total acreage. We need to make sure the MAGA information is correct, and we need to make that correction before we adopt the ordinance. Thank you very much.
Can you just briefly tell me, where is the Cheverly Mill?
It's where is the mill itself?
No, I mean, which page?
Oh, page 31.
Okay.
It refers to the Spring Hill
Oh,
edition.
I see.
That's that's a legal,
Oh, it's Spring Mill Edition?
it should say Spring Mill, yeah,
Okay.
that's all. Small thing. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Okay, let me propose two things. First, council, we could alter the annexation plan to say Bladensburg Volunteer Fire Department. That certainly seems to be a logical and easy change. That's on page 2 or 38 of the packet. We can change page 31 to in paragraph 7 to Spring Mill Edition. And then, okay, period. Any objection to that? Okay. And then let me go back, /owner of the property and Prince George's County. So effectively Home Team 5 and the county government as represented by the Redevelopment Authority. To this end, the town of Cheverly agrees to provide special municipal tax treatment as authorized in the Maryland Local Government Code 4405. The town of Cheverly agrees that the annexation area shall be subject to an adjusted municipal tax rate that takes into account any pilot agreements entered into with the county, between the county and the developer, for non-residential and multifamily uses such that the applicable municipal tax rate shall result in an aggregate real property tax burden on the multifamily or non-residential uses that is no greater than the aggregate real property tax burden prior to the annexation after consideration of the pilot with the county. This special tax treatment is withdrawn upon the sale of any portion of the annexation area to any homeowner or 15 years following final approval of any use and occupancy permit for non-residential or multifamily properties. The town of Cheverly intends to enter into an annexation agreement executed by the town administrator to provide further details regarding the special municipal tax rate following adoption of this resolution. So briefly, I'll say what is on the table between the county and the developer is a 25% pilot of the county tax rate on the non-ownership parts of the project for 15 years. This does not at all involve the townhouses. This does not all involve the ownership condominiums. This is any apartment building that might be built, any hotel that might be built, perhaps the 40,000 square feet of retail that might be built. And essentially, when the building is owned, when any of those buildings are owned by a company or individual entity, they will pay 25% of the county tax rate, or you might say 24 cents, because the county tax rate is 96 cents. Everyone following? Okay. Now, in the county tax rate in a municipality is 84 cents. The county loses 12 cents because as a recognition that property taxpayers in a municipality are paying a municipal tax, so the county only takes 84 cents instead of 96. So 25% of 84 is 21. So the county will get the 21 cents, and in that example, Cheverly will only get the 3 cents. I want to be completely transparent about this. So I thought about this on the Metro today. If you have a building, let's say it's, and this is probably a low ball figure, but if you have a building, let's say an apartment building, a rental building, multifamily, and its first year assessment as privately owned is $10 million. Probably a low figure, but let's say it's $10 million. The town will only get $3,000 in property tax revenue from that building the first year, 3 cents. The county won't do much better. They're only getting $21,000. And that will be true, just in the interest of full transparency. Now, their assessment won't be $10 million for 15 years. Their assessment will go up. But if it was $10 million, that whatever it is, that will continue. That little bit of money will be what's coming to Cheverly from that building for 15 years. And the county will get its little piece. It's 21 cents of what is hopefully an escalating or rising assessment. Any questions? So having said that, let's go back to the public and see if there's any further public input on the annexation resolution.
Okay. Award 2, showing me why Award 2. Mayor, that was elegant, and it was complete thought, and I followed. But what happens if you change the equation and made it 6% for the town, and the county got an extra, bumped up? What if you change the equation? Would that confuse things? Less money for the developer, more money for the developer? Change the equation a little bit, maybe at the last moment? Was that difficult, or was that breaking some contract? So town gets 6% or 7.2% instead of 3%, and the county would get a bump up 4%. So changing the equation at the last minute, question, is it possible?
All right, thank you for that comment. It's a great question. Let me just make sure, I want everyone to understand I'm talking about cents, not percents. Okay, so when I say 21 cents, 4 cents, it's not a percentage. I wish it were a percentage, but it's only cents. That is a great question, and the 25% pilot with the county is not set in stone, and Cheverly is not a party to that negotiation. So it is possible that it will not be inked at 25%. We don't know. I'm simply providing the best information that we have at this time. Again, that agreement, in my opinion, or estimation, will be made in the next 6 to 12 months between the county, which owns the land, and the developer. And the town of Cheverly is essentially along for the ride on Section 3. Vice Mayor? Sure.
I was just wondering about Ms. Salo's comments about the difference between the one acreage and the other acreage, and was wondering if you could address that.
Sure. Yes. So I have gone over this question with the town attorney, and he is confident that the surveyor and the meets and bounds are correct in the document. So his advice to the town has been is to this body to proceed with, without putting words in his mouth, to proceed with the annexation as described in these documents. Any other questions? All right. Because you're a repeat customer, how about 60 seconds?
No, I didn't understand what you were saying. The attorney said, go with the document, but which one? Because they conflict with one another. So he should really say, go with the meets and bounds.
Right. That's
that what he said?
probably actually what he said.
Okay, so there are 3 instances, as I just went through, 3 instances where it says 44.1867.
Yes.
And each of those should be changed to 39.98. And those occur on page 27, 28, and 35 of the current project, okay? Can I say done? All right.
Thank you. Thank you for that. He is confident in the 44 figure. I understand your view on this topic. Is there any other public input before we make a motion? Do you want to? Oh, thank you. Oh, Mr. Price, go ahead.
That they were putting in housing, and then the second phase would be the development of commercial area. Does that mean that Hospital Hill can put in the housing and then wait 15 years to put in the commercial aspect, or is there a time limit on when the project is finished?
Thank you for that comment. I don't want to delve too much into the project because that's a separate discussion from the annexation of the acreage. I will just briefly say that about the current, again, the plan as of June 11th, 2026 is to start with townhouses and then proceed as is possible with the other parts of the project. I would also say that the promise of commercial space is no greater than 40,000 square feet. So there is not, so that is the promise at this point, which is not a tremendous amount of space. So I want to manage expectations on that. But I think if there's interest in the community in having a conversation this autumn about the project, we can have that as a separate conversation. Thank you for your comment, though. Ms. Jones?
Joyce Jones, Ward 2. I'm going to speak about somebody who's very modest and probably wishes I wasn't up here, but I would be remiss if I did not recognize the countless hours that Sheila Sallow contributes to this town in many ways, but especially as the chairperson of the Green Infrastructure Committee, which is still an extremely robust organization with over 40 members, with chock full of scientific expertise. And you see the attention to detail that she brings, whether or not you agree with a specific acreage or whatever, she's doing the work, she's dotting the i's and crossing the t's. And I might also add, in terms of annexation, Attorney Pounds was the benefit of countless hours of her research, most of which was in his letter to when there was the big fight with Bladensburg. So even though Ms. Sallow has unfortunately been vilified much in the past, I'm hoping that those days are behind us and we can really fully recognize her contributions to the town on this and many other things. Thank you so much.
Thank you for those comments. I could not agree more. All right. I think since you were up here already, weren't you?
Well, one question.
So how 60 seconds. Go ahead.
The Lord if the lawyer is wrong, he's new to the job, let's just say, the new employment. If he's wrong, it scuttles the deal, if he's wrong. You're basically calling Ms. Salo making a great error, let's just say, a nice way of saying it. So, or a liar, but basically, if she's right, she warned you, and you're not listening. But she's wrong, but she's right, you're not listening, and it scuttles the deal. Or whatever, they'll play games with the last minute. It's muddling the law, basically. I'm seeing, and well, we'll see, and like, shameful.
All right, seeing no further public comments, council, well, he's not a member of the public. Okay. You don't want to make a motion first? Go ahead. Okay.
I just want to sort of revisit, I want to parse out the pilot question too,
Sure.
because I'm trying to understand this.
Yeah.
So, again, as I understand it, so it's a 15-year agreement,
Right.
but that ends if the property sells, or is that if it's sold or transfers?
That only applies to the owner. The it stops when it gets sold provision applies to the ownership units.
Okay.
So the townhouses and the condominiums are technically part of I guess you could say they're part of the pilot, but they won't be more than a few months until, Jack and Jeff resident buy it, and then when they go to settlement, that their townhouse goes on the tax rolls 100%.
And that 15 years obviously doesn't start until someone's living there.
It starts with when they are granted the use and occupancy permit.
Okay. All right.
Which are hard to get in Prince George's County, but yes, that's it. The clock does not start. The clock does not start until the UNO permit is issued, and then that continues for 15 years. And that we would expect that to be fully on the non-ownership elements. So the 40,000 square feet of commercial. If there's a hotel. If there's a multifamily rental building, a multifamily rental building.
And whatever rate is set, that is set for the 15 years. There's no renegotiation.
The percentage will be agreed for 15 years. The 25%, which is the number I keep throwing around but is not set in stone. Again, the county's tax rate could grow beyond 96 cents, but I think they'd have to overturn trim. So possibly, right? So that's why the 24 cents is not set in stone, but I mean, it's kind of set in stone because of trim.
Okay.
If in fact the 25% is what's in that signed agreement between the county and the developer.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Seeing no further public input, is there a motion from the council to adopt Charter Amendment Resolution 1-26?
Mayor, if I can,
Sir.
I've asked Attorney Pounds to get on to address any concerns, if there are any concerns that you may have or the council may have, so he should be getting on momentarily.
Okay. Is there a motion? We can hold the vote open for him, but is there a motion so that the council can discuss it?
I move to adopt Annexation Charter Amendment CAR 126.
The motion was made by Councilmember Tanzi. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Councilmember Legloahec. Is there any discussion on the council? I'll start and say, I think this has been a long time coming. I think it is a complicated issue, and there are downsides to it that I want to publicly acknowledge. There are risks in annexing this land. I think the opportunities of it being in the town far exceed the risks. whether you look at 5 years or 10 years or 15 years, regardless of your timeline, I think the rewards and opportunities for this and future generations of town residents far exceed the short-term risks. I do want to be honest about the revenue challenges that the pilot will pose. I think we will have a difficult time as a council, and including Mr. Galloway, our non-voting member, planning for how to navigate the provision of services that we will be providing to these Cheverly residents while the non-ownership units are paying a, trying to think of a polite term, a reduced amount of tax revenue for those 15 years. Council, any other comments before I go to Mr. Pounds? Vice Mayor.
Yes, along that same vein, this is an important vote in a lot of ways. There are definitely going to be times in the future where future councils look back and shake their fists at this council and say, why would you do this to us? In much the same way that this council does that for decisions that have been made in the past as well. For me, the risks that the mayor referenced about annexation are definitely worth it, particularly, and this is not sort of part of the conversation very much, but in terms of having people living near us being part of our community. And I look at places like the Cheverly Station Apartments and other areas bordering on Cheverly where there were opportunities to bring folks into the community, and instead we have these sort of physical boundaries and areas that were not annexed at the time. And it's hard, and it makes it difficult to feel like a cohesive community. This development is going to be right next to us, and it's going to be a lot of people, and I'm so excited to welcome them into Cheverly and to have them be part of our community and to build something with them together. And so I am excited about annexation, even though I know that some people are going to be mad at me later.
Thank you for that. Mr. Pounds, I'm going to come to you after Councilmember Wade.
Yeah. I ran on this. I ran on smart economic development. One of my pillars was economic development, and part of that was the annexation. In the county as a whole, we do not have smart economic development. This will be a long process. There will be positives and negatives regarding this, but we have to bring it within the fold of Cheverly if we want it to be done correctly. If we allow it outside, then it would be a situation where we have no control of it, as well as we will not be able to mold it into this amazing community that we all live in now. We need to make this an example to everyone, not just in this particular area, but with the entire region, that Prince George's County can do smart economic development. That's not always been the case. But with the individuals here, even if I'm not sitting in this seat, I think we have laid the foundation for it to be successful. But ultimately, it relies on us as a whole. And that includes you all out there to hold everyone accountable with that. Do want to acknowledge the partnership with the developers, as some of them are here. With that, it's a compromise in many ways. I'm not in full agreement with the full pilot, but I understand it. That we need to make some sacrifices or concessions, I should say, regarding it. But the developers have, from my standpoint, have been open and honest with working with us and be able to do that. So, but as a person who lives on the quote-unquote other side of Ward 1, I understand how that feels. When I bought my home, my cousin lived here, raised her family here, lived in the main part of Cheverly. She's the one that recommended it, not knowing that once my kids were born, I got more involved in Cheverly. That being on the other side unfortunately has that train track mentality, and as being from the South, I fully understand what that means. But it's up to you to make sure that, and us and me in this seat, to embrace the individuals that will be here going forward. So I look forward to this. I look forward to the continue to roll up my sleeves, and I will continue to say, as me being a representative of Ward 1, we still have major concerns regarding this. That even includes the opening up the streets. So hopefully that we can address that going forward. But I look forward to this. I look forward to this being a success and all in regarding it. And I yield back.
Thank you for that. Mr. Pounds, I'm going to ask you to wait one more minute and give the floor to Councilmember Tansey first.
Thank you. So the annexation fight with Bladensburg is a lot of what inspired me to run, because I was here as a kid, and this is by far the biggest opportunity we've had for development in my lifetime. And I said I could not live with myself if I didn't do everything I could to be part of this development. I've also said since the campaign that the worst case scenario is not this development coming, it's this development failing. And I think by having it as part of the town, we can do as much as possible to help it succeed, and as Councilmember Wade said, mold it as part of the community. And I think that is very much in the interest of the town long term. The pilot terms are unfortunately beyond our control. I understand they are standard practice. Reason I say that is, while it is unfortunate for the revenue stream, that's just a reality. And so the real question is, does the town benefit from having the development be in the town or not? Because there is no version where pilot doesn't exist. It's that standard. So I'm very happy that we are moving to annex it. And again, as Councilmember Wade said, that the developers have been very open with us and willing to engage with the town leadership. So I think that healthy relationship will, in time, turn into a development that everyone sees as an integral part of the town.
All right, thank you for that. Mr. Pounds, we made, I guess working backwards, we made a minor edit to page 2 of the annexation plan to change Cheverly Volunteer Fire Department to Bladensburg Volunteer Fire Department. And then moving forward, again, on page 31, we corrected the Spring Hill addition mention in paragraph 7 to Spring Mill addition. That's just in case you weren't on, I wanted you to know that. And then welcome any reaction you have, but also would ask you to address the acreage question between 39 and 44 acres.
My last, quick review of the final of all these documents, and I did see there was a 39 on the survey, whereas a 44 in the actual resolution. So we can certainly make that edit to make that change, and I would, whatever that number is stated on the survey is what should be stated in the resolution, because that number has changed a number of times. But whatever the number is, that's the number. That is the final survey. So if we could make that change according to the survey, if there is a change to the resolution, let's go ahead and do that.
Okay. Okay. And you believe the survey says 39?
Well, whatever the survey, I don't have it right in front of me, but if somebody could look at the last page of the survey, whatever that number is, that should be the number. Because before, I think there was some citizens of Cheverly who were not doing it on the survey, who were doing it under their own calculations. And that survey has changed a couple of times. So the problem is that, this is the final survey is what we need to be based on. So.
Oh, in paragraph 38. All right. Okay. So what? Okay. So I think the relevant passage is in paragraph 38 on page 34, or it says description, page 4 of 4 of the description of the to be annexed. It is the final item on that page, number 38. Confusing, number 38, which says some things about a point, and then or 39.98 acres of land, more or less. So.
Has changed a few times, but that is the final survey number, the final with all the changes. So that's going to have to be the number we're going with.
Excellent. Okay. So we will be then the motion is to adopt the resolution with the 39.98 acreage, wherever in the resolution it need be. Is that right, Mr. Tanzi?
Yes. And the other edits.
I think it's in the whereas clause on the top of page 38. It is an exhibit of 39.98 acres of land to be annexed, etc. All right, thank you for that. Do you agree, Mr. Legoahec?
I approve 39.98. Sheila was right about everything.
All right. All right, is there any further debate from the council or any further questions from the council for the town attorney? All right, I will just say as a final point of debate, number one, I would definitely be voting yes if I had a vote. I would definitely be voting yes if I had a vote. Number two, thank you, Ms. Salo, for keeping us honest and for and also to echo everything that Joyce said. Third, to thank Mr. Pounds and everyone else, including Mr. Galloway, who has worked tirelessly on this proposal to get us to this point. Council, is there any further debate, or shall I call the question? Seeing none, I'll call the question on Councilmember Tanzi's motion to adopt Charter Amendment Resolution 1-26. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passes 4-0. Congratulations, Cheverly. Yeah, let's clap it up. Let's clap it up for that. All right. Thank you for that. We are on to item 11, environmental protection of the lots on Wayne Place. Council, this is a motion. The end of this discussion will be a motion made by Councilmember Tanzi to direct the town administrator and Mr. Pounds, the town attorney, to take specific actions regarding the acquisition of 2 lots on the paper Wayne Place south of Arbor Street. The 2 lots being currently owned by Mr. Horkler, who's here with us. Again, that motion, when it's made, will direct them to prepare a deed, obviously to be jointly agreed to by Mr. Horkler, the seller, that the town will acquire the lots and preserve them in perpetuity for environmental purposes, writ large. Council, any other comments before we go to the public? Okay, is there any public input on the council's
proposal and intention to acquire and preserve these 2 lots for environmental purposes. Your name, your ward, and you have 3 minutes.
John Patrick McGuire, Ward 2. Okay, only, I see acquisitions, but I'm not going to support any, other than I will support the 2 properties combined, whatever, as a transfer. But you're the county, you have to, you can say this is designated for park, but if you're not designated as green infrastructure instead of industrial 1 and 2, the county, we still live in Prince George's County. Cheverly's not independent. That is part of the state of Maryland. There's some level, call it bureaucracy or laws, but laws. So green designated green in the code for the county, so they can say, we designated as green, not industrial, whatever the hell. Heck, sorry. Thank you. Slow.
Thank you for that point. You made me think of one other point I wanted to add, which is that the town will own the lots in perpetuity, but the deed that we will direct Mr. Galloway and Mr. Pounds to negotiate will bind the hands of future councils for what. Again, the council is the owner on behalf of the town. What future councils could possibly do with the land, because the deed will contain restrictions. So if some future mayor and council wanted to include it as part of a larger multifamily living development, that mayor and council's hands would be tied. Any other public input on this proposal?
Joyce Jones, Ward 2. Hadn't planned to get up at all tonight, but what the hell. One more instance of mentioning a modest person who I'm sure doesn't want to have a spotlight put on them, but I will anyway. I want to thank Gabe Horkler for not just this, being one of the main drivers of this, but the incredible work that he puts in the town with Friends of Lower River Creek, all kinds of cleanups, the trail, going on Route 50 and picking up bottles of urine that the drivers have thrown out. There has been talk about the fact that this sets a dangerous precedent, that somehow people are going to get it in their mind to buy something up and come rushing to the town and having them pay for it. And that's really not how it worked. Hundreds of people, over 100 people came out quite a few years ago just saying they wanted to preserve this land, even though everybody agreed on it. Nothing was done, and many steps, including meeting with the town administrator and the town attorney by Zoom, I believe, led to this. So it wasn't something out of the blue, it wasn't something unauthorized, it wasn't some dangerous precedent that was set. And I just want to thank Mr. Horkler and his family for everything they did to bring this to fruition. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that comment.
Thank you for that comment.
Sheila Sello, Ward 2 again. I just want to say that I would be surprised if I didn't support this. The acquisition of the lots and it's their environmental protection. They're part of a much larger space that we are hoping will also have environmental protection. We have something called zoning. If these lots can be rezoned to reserved open space. This is not called binding, it's called opening to a different usage. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Okay. Seeing no further public input on the issue, Councilmember Tanzi, would you like to make a motion?
Yes, I move that we instruct Jason and Todd, the town attorneys, to have a deed prepared for Gabe's lot to be transferred to the town to contain restrictive language that the property is to be used solely for environmental purposes or to enhance public environmental purposes and related uses.
I'll second that motion.
All right, the motion has been made and seconded. Council, is there any discussion of the motion? All right, seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes 4-0. Thank you, Mr. Galloway and Mr. Pounds, for proceeding expeditiously on that item. We are on to item 12, 5701 Landover Road Park naming. Mr. Wade or Mr. Galloway, would you like to provide any framing on this item?
Yeah, this is a place on the far west side of Ward 1, on the side that I live on, that was brought to attention by Miss Diane Beadle and her entire organization, as well as the help from other individuals such as AWS, to clean up. It was a dumping site for several years. Took a long time for it to be cleaned up. Now it is a walkable small park trail that is a beautiful place for individuals to come together as a whole. I brought it to the attention before of my previous neighbor who lived right behind me before he passed away, who served this town based on him being vetted, that he served this town, starting off in the public. Thank you to previous mayor Mosley for bringing to attention that he was not only a resident for 40 years, but he also started in the public works department. And then with his due diligence, he worked in to be a corporal in the police department and worked his way up to be chief, and I believe in the 80s and 90s. Not only was he a resident, but he lived over there, but he served the town of Cheverly in the most important, one of the most important ways of being the chief of police and public safety, and that is Mr. Gilbert Jones Jr. This would be a great honor for him, for his legacy as someone that lived over there, was a resident, worked in 2 departments diligently, and sacrificed his time and effort to make sure that the legacy of Cheverly is today what it is now. Shall I go ahead and put a motion for that? Or?
No, let's wait just a moment to see if there's any public input. Right, so just to reiterate, our intention is to propose Mr. Jones, Chief Jones, as the namesake for the park. So that is what you would be providing any public input on. Is there any public input on that idea? Your name, your ward, and you have 3 minutes.
Joyce Jones, Ward 2. I think recognizing Chief Jones is a fantastic idea. Thank you for bringing this to the community. He is just a stellar example of the care and service that people bring to Cheverly, and thank you so much for putting his name forward. I hope you will all support it.
Thank you for that. Mayor Mosley, your name, your ward, and you have 3 minutes.
Julia Mosley, Ward 2. I'd like to thank Councilmember Wade for nominating, I guess is the way we should say it, Gilbert Jones for this honor. Former Councilmember Fred Price, when Gilbert passed away a few years ago, Councilmember Price posted on the exchange that he wished more people knew about Gilbert's life and his early beginnings and what he achieved in his life. So I think this is wonderful. I am confused. The agenda that I saw said this was up for a vote tonight, or am I confused?
We're going to vote.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other public input on the proposal to name the 5701 Landover Road Park after Chief Jones? Seeing none, Councilmember Wade, would you like to make a motion?
I would probably, and it'd be an honor to make a motion to name the park at 5701 Landover Road after our former chief, Mr. Gilbert Jones Jr.
Thank you for that. Councilmember Wade, Vice Mayor Briner seconded the motion. Is there discussion amongst the council on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote on naming the park after Chief Jones. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passes 4-0. Okay, Mr. Galloway, this takes us to item 13, Mr. Price, I'm sorry if I overlooked you. Did you want to make a comment? Your hand's down now, but go ahead. Thanks. Go ahead, sir. All right, thank you for that. I believe Mr. Price was thanking the council and the community for taking this step to name the park after Chief Jones, and I certainly agree with him. Okay, that takes us to my time has expired, so I yield to the town administrator for his report.
Good evening, Mayor and Council and Town of Cheverly. Tonight has been a great night. We've gotten a lot accomplished. I have this hat that I forgot to bring. It said Budget Season Survivor. Thank you for adopting the budget, but congratulations also on moving forward with the charter amendment for annexation. One thing about the charter amendment, and speaking to the developers earlier, this isn't in my report. They indicated to me that based off of the last preliminary plan of subdivision, there will be another meeting that has to take place based on a requirement from Maryland National Capital Park and Planning. So that meeting will probably take place at the end of July towards the beginning of August. So please stay tuned for a meeting announcement after coordination with the developer occurs. Any questions as it relates to that?
Any questions for the town administrator about the PPS? Go ahead.
Okay. As it relates to Cheverly Station Apartments, Ross Management, representatives from Cheverly Station Apartments and Ross Management recently met with town officials. It was about ongoing matters of the property. Who were in attendance of the meeting was myself, the Chief of Police, Deputy Chief, Councilmember Garces, Councilmember Fry, Attorney Deloach, several members of the Ross Management team, members of the ownership team. Since the meeting, Ross Management has remained in communication with the town and has taken several corrective actions. These include improvements to the playground, successful completion of the county inspection for the swimming pool, and the completion of several other property-related corrections. Ross Management has expressed interest in meeting with the town representatives at the end of the summer to review progress and discuss any remaining concerns. Overall, the meeting was productive and constructive. Any questions as it relates to that, Mayor and Council?
No, sir.
Okay. Next matter I'll be bringing forward is regarding the Craftsman Building redevelopment. Over the past several weeks, I've been working closely with Councilmember Tansey to explore redevelopment opportunities for the Craftsman Building and market the property to the state of Maryland, an innovative-focused organization similar to New Labs. As part of this effort, Councilmember Tansey and I met with representatives from the Maryland Department of Commerce and Prince George's County Economic Development Corporation to discuss potential concepts for the site and how its redevelopment could benefit the state, the region, and ultimately Cheverly. During these discussions, we learned that the property owner, Toronto Realty, a New York-based company, is considering modifications to the building. However, Toronto has indicated that it would only pursue business arrangement with an entity willing to lease the entire building. Additionally, we have been informed that Amazon may may be a potential tenant and could be in contention to sign a lease within the next 4 to 6 weeks. Staff will continue to monitor developments and keep the council informed as additional information becomes available. And with that, I would like to yield to Councilmember Tansey to see if he has any additional comments.
I think that covers most of it. So just a tiny bit of background. The building was rebuilt by Atapco Properties. It was sold to Terreno, which is an REIT, and real estate investment trust, in December 2025. They are a big business, $6 billion business, and they mostly do logistics. I am under the impression that logistics is not the highest and best use of that property. It is less than a mile to the metro. If we opened up Belmont for pedestrian traffic, you could walk there. And I've also, with Town Administrator Galloway, met with the commercialization team at University of Maryland to ask whether or not they have engineering spin-offs that need industrial land. They have indicated that they do, and that they do not have the industrial sites for them. So I am trying to encourage the direction of placement. This is obviously a very large building. It is 180,000 square feet, which means it is 4 acres inside, and it has 45 docking bays. So the worry is that if Amazon or an equivalent operator took control of it, we would be having very possibly hundreds of trucks going through there every day. And so I think that is its own matter. I care about that, but I want to emphasize that my point to the state is that the best use of the site for the state, for the county, and for the town is as something, a higher margin business that is not based on logistics, because it brings in more jobs, higher paying jobs, and more tax revenue because property values would go up. It also could provide us with a daytime population to support the retail efforts that we have in the area. I say all of this to say that I'm not trying to be anti-business. I'm trying to find the best business for what is functionally the last Class A new construction, shell complete, but otherwise vacant property that is metro adjacent in the entire capital region. Like, this is it for a metro adjacent industrial. And I think we need to take advantage of that fact, and I think we need to get the state to recognize that fact so that it sees this as a scarce state asset and not as just another building that the market will resolve as it sees fit, which would be to a logistics site like an Amazon or UPS or FedEx, all of which would create a tremendous amount of traffic in the building closest to the residential part of town.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Any questions as it relates to that? Okay. Thank you, Councilmember Tansey. Juneteenth celebration. This is a reminder that CAECO will host it, along with the town, will host its annual Juneteenth celebration on June 20th at the Town Hall parking lot. Everyone is encouraged to come. Elected officials, if you receive the invitation, please attend and RSVP with Ms. Brown. This year's event will feature the Buffalo Soldiers and the Caribbean Drummer, providing entertainment and educational programming for attendees. We look forward to another successful community celebration, and I will say that June of 2020, Cheverly was one of the first few towns to acknowledge Juneteenth as a town. So since the entire time that I've been here, you all have acknowledged it and gave the day to employees to take off to celebrate. So I do concur with Ms. Joyce Jones' statement of it being a great community, a diverse community, and thank you all for taking a step forward. Any questions as it relates to the Juneteenth celebration?
Mr. Galloway, can you just say a word about the service adjustments that we're making in light of the June 19 Friday town holiday.
For the refuse collection and,
Yes.
okay.
Okay. Oh, we'll get to it later. Okay, yes.
Okay.
But town offices will be closed on the 19th.
Yes, town
because
offices
it's a-
will be closed
The
on-
town recognizes it in our code as a holiday.
Correct. Okay. That will be addressed by the Deputy Director of Public Works later. As it relates to the Maryland Municipal League, Mayor and Council, as you all know, the conference begins on Sunday. If you have any questions regarding your hotel accommodations or conference logistics, please contact the town clerk, Ms. Richards. The conference attire, you all will receive a tan shirt and a gray shirt. We ask that you wear the tan shirt on Monday and the gray shirt on Tuesday, just for simple logistics and coordination purposes. I will deliver those shirts to you all on Saturday. I know we had to get what was available, okay? So, I mean, you can style it up a little bit. But we definitely will be engaged regarding the logistics of the conference. I would like to move forward to the State Highway Administrative meeting. I recently met with the representatives from the Maryland State Highway Administration to discuss several public safety and quality of life concerns throughout the town. Topics including roadway lighting outages, guardrail replacement, and vegetation overgrowth along state maintained road. As a result of these discussions, SHA has developed a plan to address these concerns, and we look forward to seeing progress on these important matters in the coming months. Additionally, the meetings are scheduled in the upcoming weeks with National Park Service in Prince George's County to discuss similar issues and opportunities of collaboration. These conversations will help ensure continued advocacy for improvements that enhance the appearance and overall quality of life for our residents. Any questions that you may have regarding that? We did talk about any and all of the highways that SHA owns, and not just the highways, but everything as it looks aesthetically to the town.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Okay.
Let me just add briefly that, Mr. Galloway, that I attended a mayor's meeting with the county executive and her staff, and I told them, I hope it's okay, that you and I would be interested in hearing from them about an MOU for snow and ice on nearby roads. Those are each going to be individually negotiated between the lawyers, but the county exec's office will likely be reaching out to you, Mr. Cardenas, to begin that process in the fall so that they're ready for the winter. I didn't make any promises. I just said we would take the call.
Thank you. Last but not least, Mayor and Council, Chop Up Restaurant and Cooler Lounge at 6431 Landover Road. Earlier this week, I received communication from the owner of Chopped Up Cooler and Restaurant located at 6431. As council may recall, the town approved a liquor license application for the establishment in October. The owner has recently approached the town regarding a family entertainment license. At this time, the applicant has been advised that no action will be taken until further discussion occurs with mayor and council. To facilitate the discussion, the town's liquor board attorney, Mr. Eddie Pounds, will be invited to attend the council's July work session to provide guidance and answer any questions regarding the license process and potential implications. I denied it from the start of the conversation, but, I think that it's best for them to come in and have the conversation just so that you can hear it as well. Until a discussion is held with the mayor and council and community input is received, considerations of this request will remain on hold. Any questions for that? Mayor and council, that concludes my report. Are there any additional questions for me at this time?
Council, any questions for the town administrator? All right. not hearing none, we'll go to the police report, and let me just start off by thanking the chief and the deputy chief for their professionalism during the events at Town Hall this week. I have to tell you, just personally, or I have to share as mayor, the amazing coordination work that this team did. I received a phone call from the chief approximately 7 minutes after this public safety emergency occurred. He was already on the phone with the town attorney and the town administrator. He had already talked to the deputy chief of police and asked her to head in, and he was on the way to the town administrator's home to pick him up so that they could come in and coordinate the response. And this is all within 7 to 10 minutes of the incident. So thank you on behalf of the council for your extraordinary not only response, but also empathy towards the community in the days afterwards. Please go ahead.
Thank you for that, Mayor. It's good to be part of a good team. I'll leave it at that. And certainly a challenging night, but certainly not nearly as challenging for us as it is for the family. And the deputy chief and I were able to make personal notification to the family that evening as well. The report this evening is a compilation of last month's and this month's report, so I'll just hit some of the highlights. The homicide in the 6200 block of Monroe, I think I know the mayor and council are aware of it. The apprehension was made on scene at that event, and there was no further threat to the community. Interestingly, ironically, or even strangely, if you'll allow me to say that 40-some years of policing and to apprehend the suspect on the scene, but not only did he give a full confession, but he wrote a full apology to the families and the officers and those that had to experience that, which I thought was tremendous for someone who just had been involved in something like that. So I'll leave that there. The other incidents you just mentioned, and that's still an open investigation only from the sense of they have to close things out with Baltimore. But we know what occurred, and again, thank you for your kind remarks. We had the sexual assault on May the 20th that occurred at Boyd Park. That individual was known to the victim, so that was not a stranger-on-stranger incident. Doesn't minimize the trauma that 14-year-old victim was subjected to, but that individual is also in custody, thanks to the Prince George's County Sexual Assault Unit. We'll just hit a couple of things. We did conduct, even though it was poorly attended, we did conduct the domestic violence awareness program, and we'll try that again later on. And we appreciate the assistance of the other agencies that came out for that event. On an administrative front, the police department just completed their audit with the Maryland State Police for the NCIC access. It's a security audit. We have to demonstrate through proofs that all of the information that we access is validated for a criminal justice purpose. That's intended to ensure the security of the systems and that the information that our officers have access to is not abused. So those audits also include a review of our disciplinary policy for security violations and new measures that require us to fingerprint and background check anyone that may have access to the police department's building that goes unescorted. So kind of think custodial personnel and things of that nature. But we got the audit report back and we're in 100% compliance. So thankful for that. The deputy mayor mentioned kind of mental health earlier. The police department is required by law to engage in a biennial mental health assessment. That was passed as part of the Maryland Police Accountability Act back in 2021 under Senate Bill 71, and all of our officers are due for that. I've been in contact with the clinician that does our psychological testing for hiring, and we'll be scheduling all of our officers to participate in that. This will be the second go-round, so I've participated in it myself, and I found that it was extremely beneficial, and all of it being confidential. The only notification that I get back as the chief of police is that the officers made the appointment as it was scheduled, and all the information that they discuss, they're free to discuss, but it's all confidential, unless there's something that requires notification to me that an individual may be planning harm to themselves or others, which I'm not concerned with. The last thing I want to speak to is this evening, as I was reviewing the Homeland Security Division intelligence report from a meeting that I participated in earlier, with no less than 10 known planned rally takeover, car takeovers between Prince George's, Montgomery, Anne Arundel, and Baltimore County and D.C. And at about 20 after 6, Lieutenant Gleason walked into my office and said, "Chief, we got a problem." And I said, "Well, what do we got?" He said, "We've got a car takeover over on Craftsman." Well, it wasn't cars, it was about 150 motorcyclists. Most of them without tags, most of them without helmets, engaged in reckless behavior. We monitored that situation. Lieutenant Gleason, working in concert with the county, stayed behind those motorcyclists. They went all the way up Kenilworth Avenue, out Greenbelt Road, down Glendale to 450, out into Bowie, down through Bowie, back out onto 50, and we were hoping that they would go east. Unfortunately, they went west, came back in through the area. They went into D.C. D.C. picked it up, and then they came back into the county and then over into Montgomery County. The reason I bring that up is because these are becoming increasingly more prevalent. They're extremely dangerous. These motorcyclists, Lieutenant Gleason was reporting, I provided video footage to Mr. Galloway of some of the activity. They're riding on sidewalks, up over curbs, cutting people off, aiming towards pedestrians. And during this particular situation this evening, one of the county units reported that while the individuals, these 150-some motorcyclists, spread across Route 50 from Martin Luther King all the way back to 197, that the motorists were trying to take them out, which demonstrates, unfortunately, the level of frustration that the motoring public is seeing. So I share that to say these are extremely dangerous. These car rallies are becoming increasingly more problematic. Mr. Galloway attended a chiefs meeting with me at the Maryland Coordination and Fusion Center up in Baltimore County yesterday, and the Maryland State Police gave a detailed account of the task force that's in place with the Maryland State Police, which we've participated in with their training. And what they showed was the sheer number of weapons and drugs and homicides that have occurred at these events. So I want to share this with the community to say these are not to be taken lightly. If you see something like this starting to build, it is a 911 call, and please do not try to engage these individuals. Their behavior is reckless and dangerous. And again, we're monitoring no less than 10 in the county, between the county, Montgomery, Anne Arundel, Baltimore City, and D.C. over this weekend. So just want to make sure that the community is aware of it, Mayor and Council is aware of it, and we'll continue to work with our allied partners and with MCAC to monitor these events and attempt to mitigate them to the degree possible. And that'll conclude the report unless there's any questions. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Council, any questions for the Chief of Police?
Okay.
Vice Mayor.
How is your staff doing? Is there anything that they need from us? It's been a really rough couple of weeks, months, and I just want to make sure that they're okay.
Yeah. Well, Madam Vice Mayor, thank you for that. I will tell you that we extensively debrief our staff. We make sure that they have access to the resources necessary if they feel the need. It's been a tough 6 weeks, but we've got some seasoned veterans and some new officers, and that has been an advantage to making sure that our staff is well taken care of. One of the most important responsibilities of a leadership is to know your people and to know when they may be struggling, and hence the mental health assessments that's due is timely for us, but we have access to those resources whenever we need them, and the officers are aware of it too. And I think that 40 years ago there was a I will tell you there was a stigma attached, and that stigma has been significantly removed. I'd like to say that it was completely removed, but that's not always the case. But I'll say that our officers are doing fine, and they understand the nature of this job and accept that responsibility, but they also know that their health and wellness is paramount to myself and the deputy chief. So thank you for asking that question. Mr. Mayor, I would like to say that tomorrow is the deputy chief's birthday. However, she's not here this evening because her and her husband jumped on a plane to head to Las Vegas today so that she could see her newest grandson, who was born on May the 11th. So she'll be back next week. I know she did this to avoid her birthday being here in town. And hey, my newest granddaughter and her newest grandson were born on the same day. So how cool is that? And I do want to thank the staff and mayor and council for the earlier recognition. It's come to my attention that the deputy chief and my wife were part of a larger conspiracy. There's an investigation underway to identify the culprits so that I can take appropriate action as necessary. But thank you all.
Sorry, I just have a not as interesting question, and that is, are you able to give us a quick update on the red light cameras on the bridge?
So we had a meeting with our councilwoman and staff from Maryland Highway Safety Office. They're continuing to look at, I'll just say this, the state highway has threw us a little bit of a curveball in the sense that they're now under the impression that the county owns the roadway from up to the ramp and just past the ramp. And I even asked the question, I said, we're talking 25 feet. That's what we're arguing over, 25 feet as it relates to the approach to the ramps coming from the Amazon building up. We've agreed to meet bi-weekly. We're scheduling another on-site visit so that they can take a look at it. What I specifically asked for was additional signaling and marking and the consideration of ballards to eliminate the traffic coming up the right-hand lane and then cutting across and going through that traffic signal. Power continues to be a problem as it relates to being able to utilize automated enforcement, so we're continuing to explore those options.
All right, thank you for that. Any other questions from the council for the chief of police? All right, thank you for that. Let us now go to the Public Works Department. Before I turn to Mr. Cardenas, I want to say a word about Steve Brayman, our Public Works Director. We have tremendously appreciated his service to the town over the last 7 years. And he has been a real asset in the things that I and all of my predecessors have attempted to do to make the town cleaner, healthier, more beautiful, etc. I have to let you know that Mr. Brayman will be departing the Public Works Director role effective July 1st. I'm sorry, 3rd. The end of that first work week, July 3rd, because the 4th is a federal holiday. The July 3rd will be Mr. Brayman's last day as our Public Works Director. Effective his departure, Mr. Cardenas will be our acting Public Works Director. Again, let me just say that we deeply appreciate Steve's service to the town, and we will be doing a council proclamation in the future. We will have a Steve Brayman Day in the near future. We will have a cake and a celebration of his more than 7 years of service to the town. With that said, Mr. Cardenas, go ahead.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. First, I want to say that to be patient with me. I'm not a public person. I will do my best, and I will continue serving the town, working with Mr. Galloway and the chief, learning from them, and I will like I always do. I will always give my 100% every day. So, and also I want to thank Mr. Brayman. I learned a lot from him too. So, and also with the residents, be patient with me. I will do my best and I will do everything I can to continue the legacy of the public works, and hopefully things go for the best. So with that being said, the first one I wanted to do is to answer your question, Mayor, is that because of Juneteenth, will be all town office will be closed. So we will be conducting townwide and bulk trash collection on Thursday, June 18. Any question? Then now we move to repaving update. Town contractor VMP has been performing road improvement work, including asphalt paving, concrete repairs, curb and gutter replacement at the following locations: 6200 and 6300 block of Inwood Street, 2800 to 3100 block of 63rd Avenue, 2800 to 3000 block of Laurel Avenue, intersection of 5700 block of Forest Road and 2800 block of Crest Avenue. Mayor, this is the new sidewalk that was requested. So I don't know if you has been there, but I just want to let you know that that's being completed. Also, I don't know if we talk about 2500 block of Wayne Place. I know that section of 2500 block was in a really bad condition. So that was one of our priorities to get done. And that was the first street that we repaved. So with that being said, any questions related to?
Any questions?
Yeah, was the 6200 block of Inwood Street was paved, the street itself? I just
No.
okay,
No, that just curb and gutter.
okay,
That's going to be repaved through WSSC.
okay. Do we have a timeline on that?
No, not yet. We're still in that discussion.
Yeah, great. And obviously, that road has had many sinkholes, so we want to make sure it's done right. I just had a question about that from a resident. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Last, cooperative compost program update. The program successfully reached full service to 70 residents and will continue to do so until the end of the fiscal year, at which time the program will be transferred to the full payment by participating residents. All fees and correspondence will be administered by Compost Crew directly. Compost Crew has sent emails to the current participants requesting payment methods to be added by June 30 to continue with the program. If they have if they have not done it yet already. The cooperative program allows Cheverly residents to receive this discounted service. The Public Works website has been updated to redirect interested residents to the Compost Crew webpage for more information to sign up.
All right. Thank you for that. Council, any questions for the Public Works Department? Mr. Wade.
Yeah, I just want to echo my appreciation to Mr. Director Brayman for his service to the town. Look forward to the festivities for him, and definitely welcome, good sir. I've have utmost respect for you, your dedication. I've seen it. I'll just say that people have strengths and weaknesses, but one thing that is a superpower is that you really care for where you work at, and I know that's the case for you. So I look forward to supporting you in that aspect. Do have 3 questions. We had Lockwood a small sinkhole was that repaired through WSSC. Had a major, want to thank you all, the town administrator, as well as the staff for, we had a major pipe burst in front of my house. So we were out without water for an entire day. So still dealing with the consequences of that. And they did repave it, but it's uneven. So is that, will someone come in and redo that patch, or is that
Yeah,
permanent?
they will, eventually
Okay.
they will come back and redo the.
Okay,
patch.
it's my front of my house, so I'll be very much particular to that. And then also Lake Avenue, I know the residents at Lake Avenue has major concerns about the replacement of the speed hump that's there after the new home that was built, they took it out. So what's the timeline on that being replaced to the original speed hump size that it was before that?
It was done already, a few months ago.
Right. The concern is that the speed hump, there's two speed humps there. It's not of the same, lack of better words, influence or stopping of vehicles. It's a lower version.
Okay.
So people still can now still just run over the speed hump versus the other one that was put there originally. You have to actually have to come to a stop. And as you know, Lake Avenue goes downhill. There's tons of kids there. So there's a major concern regarding that as well.
I will look into that. I wanted to add that every speed hump or every speed bump, we go by the county standards, and both of them are PG County standards. But I'll look into that and then give you a feedback on that.
Gotcha. And it's just, like I said, the major thing is that the two speed humps that were originally there, they were the same type, whatever, the same effect, I should say, more importantly. This particular one does not have, excuse me, the same effect, which is to stop the vehicles from going over without that. So,
Yes, sir.
I yield back.
My question is just about watering, especially given the high heat. Or how are we doing, or are we okay on the watering? My two big problem areas have been 5701 Landover Road and the Kilmer Street Park and Arboretum. Go ahead.
5701, we water it every Tuesday between 8 in the morning until 1 p.m. So we send a crew there and water pretty much the whole morning. We also do Kilmer. We water, we have some about 60 trees that we water, and we do that every other day.
All right, thank you for that.
Yes, sir.
And you have the necessary equipment. I mean, we don't need to get you anything additional
No, sir.
in order to. Okay, I just want to make sure. Any other questions for the Public Works Department? Okay, seeing none, that takes us to. Oh, sorry. I think the sub item here is a Keller update. Luis and Robin, did you want to come in on anything?
Robin will be taking over Keller.
Yes. Go ahead.
And installed sod at the top of the hill by Town Hall and along the driveway down to the field. Hydro seeding of some of the areas remains to be done. Keller is watering daily, as what they've told us. Some brown areas have been observed, so we're going to continue to monitor this. I'm getting a lot of feedback, but I don't know if you all are hearing the same.
Mr. Tanzi.
Thank you for that update. Do you have a sense of how long that work that's going to start next week on the field and stormwater and regrading and everything is supposed to take? Okay, thank you.
Council, other questions for Ms. Barnhart? Mr. Galloway, anything to add?
No, I'll just say this. I want to thank Ms. Barnhart for everything that she does and helping us keep Keller accountable. For instance, today, we had to purchase these air conditioning units that you see because the air condition went out on the hottest day of the year here on the top floor and on the bottom level. So, yeah, we definitely welcome Ms. Barnhart to come here and work remotely just to kind of be the project manager that Keller needs. Yeah, there are some issues there. There are a lot of levels of disappointment there. Again, and I will continue to reiterate this, there were promises made to the mayor and council that we would be in the building last April, May, or June. There were even promises made in open meeting that we would have been in the meeting before Thanksgiving of 2025, fully, with the full UNO. So we will continue to meet with them and hold them accountable. Mayor and council, I just ask that you continue to be patient with staff. We're doing the best that we can do with this. Robin is doing the best that she can do, and we will continue to press forward. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that, and thank you, Robin and Luis and Steve for continuing to shepherd this very difficult project. Okay, council, seeing no further questions, we'll go on to item 16, review of the July town meeting agenda and future requests. Council, a reminder that we do not have a June work session. The next meeting of this body will be July 9th. I will not be in attendance. The vice mayor has graciously agreed to chair the meeting for us. Do we have any items for July 9th on the agenda? I don't have any written in my scratch pad here. Okay, moving on to, go ahead.
Just wondering again about getting Verizon back here after we did not have them speak at the May 14th meeting.
Yes, we can make an effort to have them here for that. And I do want to give a bike trail update as soon as I'm able to. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to give that bike trail update at the July town meeting.
Okay, excellent. David.
Just a quick note, I will also not be here July 9th. I will be at Camp Ross with Cub Scout Pack 257.
Godspeed. Okay, moving on to the July work session, which should be the 23rd of July. I have Green Infrastructure Committee. I have, are we going to revisit the elected official spending question? That's up to you, council. I have on here the election date. I believe Mr. Wade is going to get with Mr. Deloach and have a discussion with him in the next 6 weeks, and they will come to the July 23rd work session with some thoughts on the town election date. And then I wrote down Mr. Eddie Pound's Chop Up Entertainment briefing. Any other items for July 23?
We had talked about either the July or the September work session to have the folks from the ranked choice voting group come in and talk to us about that.
I don't see any problem doing it on the July 23rd, if they're available. Shall we shoot for that? If they're not available, obviously, we can move it. Council, we again do not have we do not have a work session also in August. So our work sessions are July 23rd and then the September work session. So that would be the other alternative. Okay, looking a little bit further afield, in September's work session, so I don't have anything written down for September town meeting yet. For the work session, I have fee schedule. I think we agreed to take another look at the fee schedule. I wrote down budget and audit update. So this is not only an update on how the audit for FY26 is proceeding, but also I want to have more budget discussions earlier. So we'll talk kind of a mixture of 26, 27. And then I wrote down pilot. One of the things that I promised a resident that we would do is have regular check-ins with the development team on the status of the pilot negotiations. I'm sure they would be as thrilled as I am to have some progress to report by the September work session, but we will put it out to them and try to have a conversation. Yes?
Just knowing and understanding that there has to be another public meeting with the development team, would you all be opposed to having that meeting an hour prior to the work session meeting in July? I think in August, historically, we've had that meeting virtually, the town meeting virtually, and then, no work session meeting in August. And, that can kind of prepare us for staff not to come in for an actual town meeting for that month. It's just a thought.
Yeah, I think we're all fully supportive of the August town meeting being virtual. Were you saying that July 23rd, Home Team 5 wants to come?
As a date that I can coordinate with them, yes.
Sure. That would be great.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great. I think that's not just on the pilot, but that's probably on their work towards the PPS and the larger project, I think. All right, council, anything else you're seeing on the horizon for agenda items? Hearing none, let us go on to mayor and council announcements. Does anyone have any announcements? Mr. LeGloahec.
I would invite everyone, mayor and council and general public, Ward 2 residents, anybody who's bored on Saturday afternoon around 3 o'clock. I will be holding my next Triangle Talk at the Traffic Triangle at Greenleaf Valley and Forest. If you'd like to come out and harangue me about whatever issue is on your mind at that time. So Saturday, June 13th, 3 o'clock. I will have snacks and water. Come and talk to me about whatever's on your mind. Any members of the town staff would like to come by, and this coming Saturday, 2 days from now, 3 o'clock.
All right, anything else? Mr. Wade, do you have items?
Yeah, a couple items. First of all, I want to wish my beloved young monster of a kid, Maverick, her early 6th birthday next Wednesday. So we will celebrate at MML as well. So I'll be busy, but we'll find a way to get some cake. But wish him a happy birthday. Love you dearly, my young king. As you know, the 4th annual Shelby Ward 1 Community Day will be July the 18th. Which is a Saturday, noon to 3. It will be at Town Hall for the first year. We will have tons of agencies there, as we always do, at least about 40 to 50 from the federal, state, local. Again, these are agencies that can assist you with various issues that you may have, and of course that your tax dollars pay for. Come after that. We will have a lot of giveaways to provide, as we did last year with the raffle. A lot of activities for the kids and the youth as well. Again, this is about fully engagement. It is a Ward 1 title, but it's open up to every resident and the surrounding area. We, again, fed about 200 people last year with free fresh produce, and we plan to do that again. Also want to let you know I've been blessed to be elected to the PGCMA member at large seat. That is the organization with all 27 municipalities in Prince George's County. So we help set the agenda to represent the entire all municipalities working with the county government as whole. And I will, for the first time, will be running for the MML, which is a statewide at-large position as well, next week. So good luck, wishes and prayers to me regarding that. Thank you very much. I yield back.
Vice Mayor.
Two things. I just wanted to congratulate Mr. Brayman again on his well-deserved retirement. I know that he's going to spend it well, and I am excited for him as much as we will miss him, but I'm also excited to be working with Luis, who has been a great partner so far, and I know will continue to take good care of the town. I also wanted to note, I know we discussed earlier the homicide last month on Monroe Street, which was across the street from my house. And we have, first of all, I want to say Cheverly Police was amazing throughout the whole thing, and deserves all of the accolades and all of the support. We've talked a lot about the suspect, and so I just want to take a moment to honor Mrs. Brenda Wheeler, who was the victim. She was a lovely woman, and she was my neighbor across the street for 12 years. She was unfailingly kind and generous and just really lovely. And a lot of times when there's a horrific situation like this, we talk a lot about the perpetrator and the violence and not about the victim. And so I just wanted to take a moment to say that Mrs. Brenda Wheeler was a lovely person, and I know my family will miss her, and we send our good wishes to her family.
Madam Vice Mayor, may I personally thank you for saying what you said. That's very important.
Thank you for that. That needed to be said. Anyone else? I think we hit everyone. All right, I'll just finish up by saying there's a market on Saturday, 8 to 12. Thanks again to the town staff for getting the parking lot and the facility prepared. It is always a tall order, and Mr. Galloway's team executes it very well every time. Again, 8 a.m. to 12 noon, Saturday, June 13th at 6401 Forest Road. Do not park in the parking lot or you will be towed. Please park on the hill or on the surrounding streets. I will have mayor's hours from 9:30 to 11. Usually Patty assists me with the ASL, simultaneous translation, and I will likely be at the pavilion heat, depending on the heat, to answer questions and meet folks, and of course available on Zoom with Patty doing the interpretation. With that said, council, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Councilmember Wade has made a motion to adjourn this meeting. It has been seconded by Councilmember LeGlohack. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The ayes have it. The motion passes 4-0. Have a good night and a good month.